Hi, everyone. Welcome to the November 4th, 2024 edition of the First Year Social Hour. Today, we are very lucky because we have Teresa Eves from the Student Counseling Center, and she is going to share a wealth of information for our first year students about all the services that the Student Counseling Center has to offer and where they're located and how we can get in touch with them and really address any questions or concerns that the students may have. So thank you so much, Teresa, for joining us today.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to be here today. I loved doing it last year, and I'm happy to do it again this year. I'm glad to see Michelle, you're here, and Noelle, always so nice to see you. So what I'm going to do is, initially I was going to have us choose between two different presentation options, but I think that it would be good to do this one layout that I have. It's called a social story, which if you haven't heard of it, it's a story that we can tell ourselves or tell someone else to help prime their understanding of what's to come, to help prepare them to feel more comfortable because they know what to expect in an exchange, whether it's social or physical, walking into a space. And through this story, I've used images and some language that should really help create a narrative in all of our minds on what it's like to go down and see the Student Counseling Center at Molloy. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on it. Again, I'm going to just say I'm Teresa. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm a therapist over at Student Counseling Center, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the services we have. So we're going to talk about steps to getting support at Molloy's Student Counseling Center. We're going to go over 6 different things together: deciding that you can use some support, finding the Student Counseling Center, meeting counseling staff, making an appointment, waiting for the appointment, and then working with a counselor. We're going to use 2 different characters. They're both students from Molloy. We call them Kai and Emery. So I'm going to read some of the red font as a narrative, and I'll also read some of the other fonts on the slides to come that isn't red. That's probably more information about the counseling center, but anything that's in red is kind of a part of the narrative that we're going to develop together. So meet Kai and Emery, 2 Molloy students open to receiving support at the counseling center. Sometimes, oh, I don't have it in presentation mode, do I?
Yeah, I think you should have screen share privileges. I think it should be up now. There we go.
Thank you. I did not realize. So I'm going to start back here just for a moment so that we can combine our audio and visual skills so that we're really retaining this information together. Is this clear now? Can you see it?
I can see it, yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to put it in presentation mode because I think otherwise you'll see edits and you don't need to see those. Okay. Excuse me for a second. Screen share just stopped and promise I'll get right back on track. Is this better?
Yes. That's
okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Thanks for hanging tight with me through that.
No problem.
I did not realize I wasn't in screen share. So this is where I was kind of laying everything out before, where we're talking about the different steps, deciding you could use some support, finding the Student Counseling Center, meeting the counseling staff, making an appointment, waiting for the appointment, and working with a counselor. Again, we're going to meet Kai and Emery. They're two Malloy students open to receiving support at the Student Counseling Center. Because sometimes college students feel a lot of different emotions. Maybe just by looking at this image, you feel already connected with some of the emotional expression in these characters. The character looking at the computer is someone I feel very connected with. Just a little bit of black going on. You actually just witnessed that as I had to troubleshoot the tech here. But maybe you relate to some of the other characters on this screen. But I do give them a little bit of an emotional identity here. From the left to the right, they're all different. They're all feeling different things because there are so many ways to feel when we get into college. This person all the way on the left with the mask on, they feel pretty good. They're okay. They're cruising. This person with a big question mark above them, fairly confused, actually, not quite sure what's going on. The person with a computer knows how they feel. I feel so overwhelmed and stressed. Some people literally feel like they're on another planet. It is so unfamiliar to them to be here. Other people, like on the top right, are experiencing homesickness, routine, missing their routine, missing what they're accustomed to. I miss home. And some people, like the person on this bottom right, are in love. Person with little heart eyes. Some people are just quite happy to be where they are and who they're with. So, some two students might tell somebody about how they are feeling. Typically, when I do this presentation, I kind of assign somebody to Kai and someone to Emery, but I'm going to be both. If there's any confusion, please do let me know and stop me, and I'll make sure it's very clear. So Kai, the person holding the laptop, is saying, I'm so tired and stressed. I don't know where to begin. I'm not so sure I can handle all of this. And Emery, the person in the hoodie, says, thanks for telling me how you're feeling. I went to the Student Counseling Center when I was having a really hard time. So this is where we are understanding and realizing that we could use some support. Some Malloy students already know that Malloy University students have access to free and confidential counseling the entire time you are a registered student. So Kai says, I don't know where the Malloy Student Counseling Center is, though. Emery says, I do. Can I show you where it is? And Kai says, yes, thank you. At Malloy Student Counseling Center, a student can receive support for so many different things. I've put together this list. This was just the topics that were at the top of my head. There are so many other things that we can support you with. But usually we see students experiencing anxiety or wanting to work on stress management, a lack of motivation, not being able to initiate or complete a task, academic performance, adjusting to college life, social isolation or shyness, relationships, family issues, and sometimes abuse. You can come to us to work on depression, if you're experiencing suicidal ideation, self-esteem, gender identity, self-injurious behavior, which is when we don't know what else to do with our emotions, so we harm our bodies. That can look like cutting, burning, pulling our hair. Those are all good reasons to come in and chat with us. We'll also support you if you're experiencing an eating disorder, substance misuse, if you're exploring sexuality and trying to figure out what your orientation might be, cultural and racial concerns, what it's like to be your culture or ethnicity in this world, race in this world, in our world at Malloy, trauma, loss, grief, sexual assault or harassment, and anger management. And a lot of these, like assault or substance misuse and suicidality, we have outside resources that we connect you with if what you're experiencing is kind of too big for us to support you here in the office. So even if we do that, it's called supplemental. We'll connect you with that outside resource, and we'll also keep checking in with you to make sure that you're okay, that you're utilizing the resource, or if you need something else. But like I said, there's a ton of other items that we can support you here. If you could think of any, you put it in the chat and I'll make sure to say it out loud. So, Malloy Student Counseling Center is located in Public Square. This is also the building where Madison Theater is. I created this image using icons on PowerPoint, but I think it's still pretty recognizable. I feel like you kind of know you're on the path on the green. Hagen's to the left, all the pretty trees are there in Public Square where Madison Square Theater is. So Kai and Emery are walking across the green. They're in that space in between all of the buildings, and they're looking for Public Square, room 030. So when you get in the building, Malloy students can either take the stairs or the elevator to the lower level or the basement to Public Square, to find the Student Counseling Center. You're going to go down the stairs or down on the elevator. In the elevator, I should actually add that here to help the story be more clear. When you're actually in the elevator, you're going to press the B button for basement. So Kai and Emery are going down the stairs or they're taking the elevator down. And they find themselves in front of the only blue wall in Public Square. Currently, I need to update this picture because if you could see my arrow right above the door, we do actually have our new signage there, and it says in big black bold letters, Student Counseling Center. So it is much more clear once you get there that you're where you're meant to be. But let's see what the rest of the story says here. On the lower level of Public Square, students look for the big blue wall, and they know that is where the Student Counseling Center is. Just like I said, it's the only blue wall in the entire building. And there are 3 different ways to find yourself there. The door right behind Emery is actually a side staircase. Some people are really concerned about confidentiality when you come to the Student Counseling Center. When you use the side staircase, you might want to come down you might want to enter the staircase right past the Starbucks. There's a door to the side stairs right there. You can come down the stairs and then pop right over, and you really have a very low chance of seeing somebody you might know, and thus increasing the confidentiality for you. Of course, you might bump into some people if you use the main staircase or the elevator, but if confidentiality is really important to you, you can also call and we can make a Zoom appointment and meet virtually, and you never actually have to physically come into the office. So Kai thanks Emery by saying, "Thanks for walking me down, Emery," and they walk each other into the student counseling front door. When you're in the office, a staff member will greet you, help you schedule an appointment, and show you what paperwork will need to be completed. This is the icon I created for Terry, our amazing administrative coordinator. And Terry says, "Hi, welcome to the Student Counseling Center." Just like the last picture, this is an actual photo of our office. It's very comfy, cozy. There's always music playing. The lights are dim, but not too dim. There's plants everywhere. We really try to make it as comfortable as possible for students to come in, but also for us because we're here all the time. And if we're at ease, we can better support you at ease. So this is what it looks like when you immediately come in. And then, oh, all right, fair. There is an in-between slide. The next slide shows us a little bit more about what the next space looks like. But there are 3 ways to make an appointment. Terry is telling this as you come in. Malloy students can go online using the QR code. If you want to scan this, the link to request an appointment with us will pop right on up. It looks just like the second half of this screen here. You just put in your name, your contact information, and what time and day you're hoping to meet. And then our administrative coordinator or one of the clinicians will give you a call to confirm an appointment with you to get you in the schedule. But you can also call. You can call the office or you can come in person to make those appointments. Any one of those 3 ways are just as effective. And I'll give you some more information with the phone number and our location again so that you know how to make an appointment. But I highly suggest, even just right now, taking your phone and taking a little scan of the QR code, copying that link and putting it into your Notes app so that you have access to it in a time of need. Because when we're stressed, we're not operating from our most executive functioning part of our brain. We're operating from our midbrain, which is our more instinctual brain. And so sometimes it's hard to have access to information that we've learned in the past. So by preparing and having things ready, we don't have to try and think or work too hard. So sometimes Molloy students have to wait for their session with a counselor. Sometimes those wait times are really short and you can just sit in the office and it looks just like this when you do it. This is an actual picture of our waiting room. There are some things missing in it now. This is an old photo, but in this space, we also have some coloring books and relaxation toys and a Zen garden, stuff, tactile things that you can do to help de-stress your body while you're waiting. This space here is also considered a tranquility space on campus. There's a number of them around. This is a good space to come and sit down if you're just feeling overwhelmed and you need to let your body settle. You can sit there for as long as you want, engaging in flow to help your body de-stress. So, of course, sometimes wait times are short, but sometimes it's best to leave and come back in a few days. Wait times really depend on how soon a counselor is available, but it also really depends on what you're going through. If you come in and you're in crisis, you're at risk, we're going to sit down with you. We're going to make time. But if you are okay, just wanting to make an appointment and make sure you have somebody to chat with soon, you're likely going to leave and come back for the appointment time that you've made. So it's also really important to know that every single school day, Monday through Friday, we have walk-in hours from 3 to 4 p.m. You can just walk right into the office and there will be a clinician available, unless somehow we have 5 walk-ins all at the same time, which like literally never happens. There will be a clinician available to sit with you. The only thing about walk-in hours that's important to know is that they're quick. They're about 15 to 20-minute check-ins. Usually what we do is check in, do some self-soothing de-escalation skills, and then schedule you for an upcoming appointment. Connect you with resources that might be helpful. Show you some quick skills on how to manage what you're going through. Or sometimes you just need to be heard out. So we can just hear you out if you need that. Let me go on here. So virtual walk-in hours are also available. You can absolutely just physically walk into the office, but also you can scan this QR code and it takes you directly to our walk-in Zoom link. That's being monitored at all times between 3 and 4. We get a little notification, someone's in the waiting room for the walk-in hours. And just like if you're to walk in person, you get connected with a counselor and we'll sit just like this and do exactly what I just said. Talk a little bit about what's going on, get you connected to some resources, maybe make you an upcoming appointment, and go over some skills to help manage what you're going through. This is really effective and really helpful tool. I suggest taking a little screen grab of it, just like this character here. So proud of it. I put a little QR code like on her phone, so it looks like she's actually scanning it. But the link will pop up there. Copy it, paste it, put it in your Notes app. Call it walk-in hours. Put the times in the day, times and the days. 3 to 4, Monday through Friday, walk-in hours. Because when you're in stress, when you are stressed, when you are in distress, it's harder to access information. Preparing to care for yourself while you're feeling well is really helpful when you're not. So before any counseling session, even if you come in for a walk-in, you have a little paperwork to fill out. So before a regular counseling session, Molloy students need to fill out some paperwork. The first form is called the informed consent And the second form is called the initial form. The paperwork can be done at this desk here at the Student Counseling Center, or if you are requesting an appointment online, it can be done online. You're just doing it while you are in session with your clinician, just in case any of the questions elicit challenging emotions. We want to be there for you if those arise. This is an actual photo of where you'll sit. It's very comfy, cozy. There's, again, music playing. It's very relaxing. There's some really great brochures and information about different stuff we cover, different resources we have in the community. You might notice all the way on top of that desk is a little picture of a dog. That's Lucy. She's our pet therapy dog. She's a very effective member of our team. You get to meet her if you come to Thrive on Thursdays at 3:30, which I don't think I have a slide on for this, but I'll make sure to bring it up again before I wrap up. So Kai is sitting here, and they are going to fill out the form before meeting with their counselor. Malloy students can meet with counselors in person or virtually. We also do groups. We have Thrive at 3:30 on Thursdays, which is a group discussion. It's led by our interns. Or you can even request a group discussion, a group therapy with a group of people that you're working on a project with, are friends with, are on a team with. They just all have to be Malloy students, and we can facilitate a group therapy session with you all. But you can also see us in different spaces like a creative or educational workshop, kind of like this one. Or sometimes you'll see me out on campus asking you to do neurographic art or make a bracelet or do something that allows you to sit, connect with your body, engage in flow, and de-stress. These are actual photos of my office. I'm looking at that chair right to my left here. So Kai is sitting in this chair, and they're saying, I'm here because I've been so tired and so stressed. And this is me. I'm the therapist in this scenario, and I'm saying, I'm so glad you're here, Kai. Let's talk a little bit about what you're experiencing. During a session like this, you have a conversation. There's a back and forth. There's time and space for you to explore your feelings. It doesn't have to always be verbal. A lot of it can be physical. Whatever you need to make sure that you are authentically in tune with your experience. I brought this QR code again to the front. It's one of like our old slides. It's so jarring to look at, but it does have all of the information on it again. To request an appointment, scan this QR code, go to that link, and you'll be able to put in your time, and we'll give you a call. You can do it for in-person or virtual.
Can you share that slide with me? I'd love to like just pop that up every now and then in my classes, especially
Yeah,
after
so
a
happy
test.
to. You got it. I have to
Thank
update it because
you.
I'm noticing now it says Student Person Counseling Center, but I will.
Mhm.
I'll send it to you.
Yes, or
It's
just a
also
QR code or something. That's great.
okay. Yeah, I could do that.
Mhm.
You might notice too at the the template for syllabi for the health and wellness one, the QR code is. It should be in there. So you see it, but it is good to have on screen. So I'll send it to you that way too. I think that this is the last screen that I have for this. This QR code doesn't work. It's a survey for our presentations, but currently it is inactive. Any thoughts or questions? Any slides you want me to go back to here?
I would love to hear about Thrive. I always think that's such an excellent and of course with Lucy being involved. So if you could just give us the information one more time on that, I think that would be really helpful.
Happy to. So Thrive is a weekly event. Every Thursday at 3:30 is Thrive. And I like to push the alliteration because I think that helps create that little neural pathway where we can remember a bit easier. So it's Thrive, 3:30 on Thursdays in room Public Square 050. Public Square 050. Every Thursday, we have pizza and we have garlic knots. And students who are wanting and willing come and they talk about whatever is going on. They talk about their experiences, whether they're personal or collective, whether they're from Malloy or outside in the community experience. Thank you, Noelle. Yes, Thrive Thursday 3:30. Yes, perfect. So also, when we go to Thrive, I'm trying to pull up the flyer. Actually, I was hoping to do it like casually and easily, but it took a little longer than I expected. But it's up. I'll share it in a second. So it's a group discussion. It's modeled after group therapy, but it's not technically group therapy. And you process your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences, and most importantly, connect with peers to hear about what their experiences are. And Lucy, our pet therapy dog, attends as many Thursdays as she can. She is an actual Malloy employee, so she's entitled to time off. So some Thursdays she decides to skip for her own mental health, I'm sure. But she is Dr. Ferreira, Dr. Talita Ferreira's dog. So she gets to come in when Talita can bring her in, really. I'm going to share my screen again just to show you this flyer. Because you should be seeing these on, okay. You should be seeing these on the e-boards, on the sandwich boards. They all have the same structure. So there might be different information on it because sometimes we do different themes for discussion. Usually they're quite open, but we've been noticing that if we have a specific theme in mind, some people show up, or I should say more people show up. So this week, this Thursday, we have a specific topic for election stress. And the following week, we're going to be doing the Sober Curious one, where Bridges, our substance misuse community vendor, will come in and help the interns host a discussion about sober curiosity. And they'll actually be returning about a monthly basis. But highly suggest participating. Group therapy and group discussion are extremely effective dynamics when it comes to increasing sense of belonging, alleviating stress, clearing up cognitive experiences. So I really, really encourage you and any student to participate.
That's really very useful information. And I love the Thrive workshops. I know a lot of students really rave about that. That's usually what they tell me about when we talk about their experiences with the counseling center. I know we're putting Michelle on the spot here, but Michelle, did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to ask or maybe clarify or anything that we can help you with today?
No, everything was good.
Okay, great.
Great. Thank you so much for coming, Michelle. I hope you found some of this information useful. Maybe we'll see you at Thrive one day.
I did.
And
Thank you.
thank you. And Michelle, since you were our only guest today, I'm going to gift you the $10 Starbucks gift card that we usually do as part of our giveaway for these online social hours.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you would, yes, if you would like to come pick it up at some point, we're pretty much in the dean's office. It's in the Sienna Hall 106. Someone is usually there between 8:30 and 5:30 Monday through Friday. And we can definitely get you that gift card. I found out that it doesn't count for the Starbucks on our campus, but all of the wonderful Starbucks in the area do accept the card. So thank you for joining us. And Teresa, thank
Okay.
you so much for this wonderful information. Always a pleasure to have you on.
So much for having me. It's my pleasure. And congratulations, Michelle. I hope you enjoy your Starbucks.
Yes, you and
Thank
Fred
you.
can get Starbucks. All right. So I think next week we have Dr. Janice Kelly from Communications talking about general education here at Malloy. So Michelle, feel free to come back and join us on any of our upcoming social hours. Otherwise, have a great rest of the semester. Teresa, it's great to speak with you, and I'm sure we'll chat soon.
Looking
Take care,
forward to it.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.